go with the babysitter.
Let's go with the babysitter. And that probably a nice, agreeable, everyone's on the same page.
Gonna go down smooth.
Like a cup of water. You won't even know you're drinking something.
Here's the summary. The events of one evening take an unexpected turn for the worst for a young boy trying to spy on his babysitter.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah. Written by Brian Duffield, who also wrote the 2015 sci-fi film Insurgent, which I've never seen.
But do you know who directed this movie?
McG?
McG. Did you check him out?
Yeah.
Did he do Supernatural? No, not Supernatural.
McG?
Yeah.
A TV thing.
Supernatural.
Is
right?
it Supernatural?
I think it's Supernatural.
He did Terminator Salvation, Charlie's Angels, tons of TV.
Yeah, nothing really good.
I watched Supernatural.
He did some music videos. You want to know what music videos he did at the start of
I
this
seen
career?
that. Korn.
Oh, I
did
didn't
something
see
with Korn, I
I seen
think.
Smash Mouth All-Star, Sugar Ray Every Morning, and Sublime Santeria. So those are some 90s things.
I met Sugar Ray one time.
Did you?
Got a microphone.
He gave me a microphone.
came to the fucking house like, dude, I met Sugar Ray, and he gave me a microphone.
Well, he
at the
needed
gun.
directions. I helped him to Finley to 75.
I like how you call
So
him
in
Sugar
return,
Ray.
he said, "Can I repay you? How can I repay you?" I said, "Well, we need a microphone."
And Jason told this whole story trying to sell it, and then someone was like, "Did he tell you his name isn't Sugar Ray? That's the band."
Oh my god.
Anyway, got a tagline: "Dream girls can be a nightmare."
Ooh.
This was a Netflix original.
They should keep doing shit like this.
Yeah, they're knocking them out of the park. Like I don't know about other genres, but the last few horror movies I've seen, great.
I could use a little bit more Chris Wilde. I don't know where I know him from, but he plays the shitty dad. That guy that's like a real asshole, has the car.
Yeah.
What is he on? He's on something. IMDb did not reveal anything, but he kind of looks like a generic.
I feel like it's commercials.
I don't know. It seems like he was in a sketch group or something, but
Maybe.
he looks like a generic Matthew Lillard. So,
He reminds me of Dangle off Reno 911.
yeah, I could see that.
And what was the other one they did? Viva Variety.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I hope they release this on physical form. I would love to have this movie.
Like a tablet.
Media.
Like a physical stone tablet.
Dick.
How about those tarantulas in their basement? How about that?
Yeah, those were tarantulas.
That seemed
too.
like an excessive amount of excessively
Like
large
exotic. Don't try to kill them. Collect them. Sell them. They're worth
She
a
was
lot
just
of
down
money.
there working.
spiders. Setting mouse traps for the...
The crawl space.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see Ken Marino.
Yes.
He's great in everything.
I know we haven't talked about if we're picking what movies we're picking for next time,
Right.
but seeing Ken Marino in this one made me be like, oh yeah, I know what I'm picking.
Yeah. He's great. Have you ever seen Bad Milo?
That's the one I'm picking.
Oh shit. We're in for it now.
I love that movie.
Have you seen Bad Milo?
Ken Marino?
I've seen. I
He
don't
has
know.
a demon in his ass that.
No.
It crawls out and kills
Milo.
people.
Wasn't there a zombie movie called Milo?
Fight
Yeah,
It.
I think, Fight It.
Fight It.
Yeah.
It's close. Screw it.
But
There was a movie called Milo and Me.
yeah, there
With
is.
the
And
dog?
there's some horror stories behind that. Let me tell you, they injured a lot of animals.
The dog movie, right?
Yeah, it's a dog and a cat. They actually
Yeah.
did. They injured tons of cats.
I was thinking
What's the name of the movie though?
Milo.
Homeward Bound.
Milo and Otis.
Wasn't that Homeward
Milo
Bound?
and Otis. I was thinking of McGee and Me.
Milo and Otis. If you
Completely
Google Milo and
different.
Otis, you'll find out that they had a cat. They had a broken leg in the movie. Yeah, because you can make a cat act like it's got a broken leg, right? Huh? No, China. They didn't have the same rules. They filmed it over there. They don't have the same shit. As,
Back to the
yeah,
babysitter.
anyways,
Frank's mad.
I'm not mad. Does it seem like we watch a lot of movies about teens and preteens just messing around?
This feels like a teeny bopper movie.
It's horror.
It is.
That's-
There's a
that's
lot of
horror
great
movies.
stuff in it.
It's directed towards a very young audience. But it didn't bother me.
I liked everything.
Anna calls me a child every day, so I have no problem relating to
He's young at heart.
the younger stuff.
they talk about they go down and they have a galactic intergalactic dream team. Do you happen to have one of those, Jared? Did you when that scene was going on? Did you think of what your intergalactic dream team would be?
I mean, I imagine I do, but I just suppose I didn't.
I got one here that I came up with.
Frank's got one.
Yeah, I would go with Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah.
So that takes up 2 slots. I would take Charlie McFadden from Critters, also, and as well I would have the Guyver on my team and Shep Ramsey from Suburban Commando. I don't know if you recall him, but that's Hulk Hogan, brother.
I remember the movie better.
Anyways, this is exactly like I don't like excessive gore in a straight horror movie. It becomes too much, but in a comedy like this, it works out great. It's just every kill scene is delicious. I just like them all. The cop killing scene especially was fucking terrific.
Yeah, whoever the quarterback dude is, I can't think of what I've seen him in before.
I'm not sure.
He's been in stuff.
He's probably on some current TV show or something.
I thought everyone was great. I thought the whole cast was great.
He
all
was
the cliche,
he was hysterical.
The cliche horror characters.
Yeah.
Every all good.
Every scene with him though, I thought was hysterical. Like from when starting once he kills the cop. Because the cop walks in and he just grabs the fire poker and is like,
oh, yeah.
Just go.
And then he fucking rips the dude's top of his head off with that fucking thing.
Yeah. When he's chasing the kid, finally catches up with him and the dude's egging his house. And the guy's like, oh, you can't. I mean, he's caught him. He plans on killing him.
Right.
But he's like, nah, you got to go stand up to that dude. You can't let him egg your house like that.
It's funny because evidently this neighborhood just does not give a shit about anything because my neighbors would have been outside on their yard staring at the dude when he's yelling for, what's his name, Colton or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was, my whole neighborhood would have been out. But, yeah, it was a great movie. I gave this one a fucking 10, man. I gave it a fucking 10.
Frank's all about it.
Oh, I love it. What was wrong with it? Name one thing. Oh, well, the explosion, the basement explosion looked like shit.
It was hilarious.
But, yeah. It's good shit.
No, I gave it a 7. I don't know. It was good, but
where's the failings?
Nothing really failed. Again, that's a pretty strong word, but like the ending where he ramps the truck, like how he killed her. I probably could.
Did it kind of make you almost? Did it almost make you cry at the end though?
No.
It did me a little bit. That's but I don't know. Maybe I was invested. I loved it. I loved the movie.
Yeah, I think this was I think it was released on Friday the 13th, and I think I watched it that same day it came out. I knew nothing. It advertised it at the top of the screen, so I pressed play and.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. I think it was, again, like there's no failings in it at all. I don't think it's a movie that could be a 10 though. Just on.
Yeah, I don't even know what I would do different. Like
just on what it is. It's fun.
7's good.
It's a lot of fun. All the jokes land. Like
the shotgun headshot was fucking.
When the kid wakes up tied to the chair and his first words are like, why is he not wearing a shirt? Like, I mean, everything is timed right. It's all funny. When the first kill in it, when they jab the knives in the dude's head, and like it all lands, but it's just not a movie I don't think could be a 10 unless.
Well, I went through and gave a couple movies last episode or the one before or whatever that were my 10s. What's a 10 movie for you?
Similar. Texas 2 is a 10. Probably Texas 1's a 10. But most of the ones you named. Dead Alive, the unrated version, of course, is a 10. 10s are just hard to come by. Like, you gotta have a
new 10s. I have a lot of 10s, but they're all old.
Yeah. Evil Dead 2. Probably Evil Dead 1.
Yeah.
Both of those are 10s. Exorcist. If we're going,
And it's definitely
going to get into serious.
It's
ones.
because they're personal to you. It's nostalgic because the Evil Dead is not a 10. But
what's
to
like
us,
a new 10
it's
for
a,
you? Do you have a new 10?
Dead
I
like
can't think of anything right now.
Dead Alive is a 10 strictly for nostalgia. I doubt.
Yes, Trick or Treat's a 10 to me for sure.
In 1986, Slaughter High. 8 people are invited to their old high school for their 10-year reunion where a fellow former student, disfigured from a prank gone wrong, is out to seek revenge. Written and directed by George Dugdale, Mark Ezra, and Peter Mackenzie Litton. Do you have any information, Jason? You don't have notes? You
I have no notes.
He was down to the wire on these fucking movies. I've done that. I've done that before. A little sad trivia here. Simon Scudamore, who played Marty, killed himself via intentional drug overdose shortly after filming. In fact, some of the scenes at the end with the jester mask, that's the director. So unfortunate.
Oh, so he didn't even finish the movie?
I think they needed some pickup
Or
scenes.
they had to go back and
Needed some
they
extra
needed
stuff.
some like inserts or stuff, something like that, and
Yeah.
he had killed himself previous.
This movie was originally titled April Fool's Day, but of course they didn't lock it down soon enough. This came out the same year as April Fool's Day, so yeah, got to jump on that shit, guys. You start off.
Interestingly enough, in I believe it's either China or Japan, it was released on VHS as April Fool's Day.
Yeah, I saw that. That's fucking weird shit. You start out this movie, you meet the nerd Marty, who's about to be seriously pranked by like a terrible group of people. It's like the popular people, I guess. I was laughing right off the bat with this movie. He's attempting to apply this condom, which looks like
that novelty condom.
I don't even know what it was like.
It's got like a sex toy built into the condom.
It looked really dangerous and uncomfortable, but yeah. I'll tell you what, he gets real embarrassed here, but goddamn, he's got a big old dick on him. He's got a big old dick on him. He shouldn't be embarrassed at all. He should have made friends. All those girls should have been like, "Fuck, Marty, shit," you know.
I was watching that with my wife. I said, "Don't you look at that thing, you pervert!" I saw you over there looking at it.
Big old cock.
Oh my god,
big old
cock.
Funny. Yeah. Carolyn Monroe, who plays Carol, has been in a couple movies we've reviewed in the past. She was in Maniac. From 1980, and on the opposite end of the quality spectrum, she was in Cute Little Buggers from 2017.
Oh my god, what a
which
horrible
is
movie.
one of the worst movies we've ever watched.
That's awful.
You got to love the score here. You got a Harry Manfredini score. He's done so much shit. He actually used a lot of stuff. I don't know if it was
Friday the 13th.
Was it unused? Was it unused or was it actually used in them? It was used in Friday the 13th.
He used some like main like chase sequence stuff. You know what I mean?
Hey man,
and
he can do it.
A bit of original.
He can do whatever he wants if they're still going to cash those checks, you know. Even if the chemical lab, this chemical lab is what burns Marty up. Like, what was the exact thing they did? He tampered with. What'd that dude tamper with?
To his joint. He had did something to his joint, and then the lab explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put something in the beaker on the Bunsen burner to make it overflow.
Oh.
And that caught on fire, and then the acid. You gotta love that rickety shelf with the acid on top.
This lab was gonna go up anyways. These shelves
was gonna die in that lab.
All flimsy, uncovered, not even a lid on any of this shit, and like acid just loose. But
on the highest unstable shelf you can get, it was a Looney Tune. I love it.
Yeah. Some of the stuff. that is bad about this movie, I thought was hilarious. They must not have had they must not have figured out how to shoot outside in the dark, because it was so dark. It was like pitch black. It might as well have been just a black screen when they're outside for the most part. I it was so funny because they could have shot.
What'd you watch this on? How'd you watch it?
Wherever it was, probably Tubi.
On Tubi.
Wherever it was free.
What John mentioned picking up the Blu-ray, and I maybe I responded, but I don't think I did.
Well,
but,
it was your picture of the Blu-ray. I was like, I got to get that. I have to get that.
Yeah, so I know I've seen this movie before, but I don't remember what the picture quality was when I first watched it. But I wasn't really that impressed with this release, or with this transfer.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that whatever transfer you were watching it on was really dark. I mean, I didn't really. Nothing really stood out to me like what you're talking about.
If they would have just put some animated eyeballs, it would have been perfect, because like I couldn't see shit when they were outside. I mean, maybe a flashlight here or there or whatever. It was just normally they shoot day for night with shit like that, where they'll like just alter the fucking, the way it looks.
Right.
But whatever. There's a caretaker dude. He made me laugh how easily he was swayed. Just a beer. He was cool. Like, whatever's clever. He gave me one beer. I would have liked to see him live a little longer. He was a likable character. There's a scene in this movie where a guy shotguns a beer. And did that look weird to you guys at all? Because he flips it in the air, turns it upside down, stabs it with a knife. But then you see him, it's open. Nothing sprays anywhere at any point. It was the weirdest shit ever. But lots of fun kills in this movie. My favorite is the woman who is melted in the bathtub when the acid comes out of the spout somehow. Like, he's really doing some elaborate plumbing shit in this movie. I think she could have saved herself, though. I think she could have got out of there with just a couple burns, but she just couldn't get out of the fucking tub. It was like
she kept reaching to try to turn it off. She's like, oh! And I swear to God, they used the same screen like 3 times in a row. Wow, she's 3 times in a row, the same screen. Love it. So funny.
Did you guys think it was weird whenever they mentioned, like, if they can make it past noon, then April Fool's Day is over with? Did you notice that at all?
Oh yeah.
It's like a British thing, evidently. Like in Britain, it's over at noon. Does the one girl fall in some sort of open air septic tank at the end? What the hell is the thing she falls in?
I don't know what that is. I was
like shit.
The same exact thing.
Yeah.
That could only be it.
Yeah, there's a lot of laughs. There's a part where this girl gingerly hits this killer 3 or 4 times, leaves the baseball bat right with him, and then runs away, leaving the weapon. That's a pretty important rule. Just don't leave the weapon near take it with you. Why don't you ever fucking take it with you? Regardless. I think that they could have just ended it with Marty winning and fading out after he kills Carol, laughing maniacally or something, because it was a dream, but oh wait, he's still crazy, was pointless for me. It was just an extra step, and it lightened up the actual revenge that this character enacted. So I don't know. They should just cut it off there. But 7 out of 10 for me. Would have been a much higher score if it weren't so fucking dark all the time. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm thinking that was maybe just the transfer.
Probably just Tubi, whatever.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Go for it, John.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna start off with my rating. I gave it a fucking 10 because this film is a 10, and it's not for all the right reasons. It's a 10. This was, to me, this is the last great slasher of the 80s, because it had pretty much all been done. That's why this was a cash grab. That's all this was. This was a cash grab film with the 3 directors. Caroline Munro ended up marrying George Dugdale.
This was 86, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, you got a lot more. You got a lot of good slashers left. Oh, whoa, holy smokes!
87 was full of them, I think.
Jeez, yeah.
Okay, then I retract my statement.
but still, it's still a 10.
But still, yes, it's still a 10 because it's great for all the wrong reasons. I loved how dark it was because it reminded me of when I first saw it. I saw this on Monster Vision in the what year was that original run? Like the years, was it like early 90s, right? Like 93?
That's what I was thinking, like 93.
Something like that. Yeah, this was like the second movie. I was up late and I saw it. I caught it at like when Marty first steps out of the shadows and you see the silhouette of his jester cap. And for some reason that just freaked me the fuck out. Like it looked good. It was creepy. The little jingle bells kind of just added to the creepiness factor. And I was like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Marty was pretty much the perfect nerd. It's a shame that dude died because I thought he killed that role. And I read on IMDb that I guess at least two of the directors, maybe all three, felt like they contributed to this. It took his mom to tell them that he's had issues all his life.
I saw that.
So that was a bummer. And I love the cast, how they try to do the accents. It's an almost all English cast.
Yeah.
And I think the only one was the girl. The only one that wasn't was the girl, Donna Yeager.
The blonde?
Yeah, Stella. Yeah, Donna Yeager. That's the actress. Yeah, she was from Texas and just happened to be over there. But it's all coming off as like real thick New York accent.
Yeah.
So I thought that worked out. The two dudes that were buddy, that initially like, hey Marty, we just wanted to say we're real sorry. Them dudes at the beginning, they were hilariously terrible. That gut explosion. The effects in this movie were pretty decent for what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Even that stop motion face melt.
Yeah, the thing about
motion face melt.
The thing about that,
a little bit of flavor.
That was the worst effect of the movie, though. That was the worst effect of the movie, though.
The gut effect was really cool, but the whole time I'm like, what happened? What's the science behind this? Because he just drinks that beer.
He mixed the potion.
How did he close the beer up? How did he like had to close a beer back up or something?
Marty's really good at science. You gotta understand.
He did get that acid plumbing going.
Yeah, right. What? No, yes, he did. He rigged all that shit up. Marty's fucking MacGyver. Let's see. What else? What other notes do I have? I really love this movie. I always did. And, I never could remember what it was called after I saw it on Monster Vision because I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw it from a certain thing, or maybe I didn't finish it because I bought a bootleg DVD at some horror show. It was a VHS to DVD transfer, and I loved how it looked. It reminded me of just watching it right off the TV. I thought the shadows were sweet. I liked that you couldn't really see them in the dark because it was real genuine to me.
This was a really rough film to begin with. Okay, because I was wondering. I was watching this Blu-ray. I was like, man, it's okay, but it really could have been maybe a DVD transfer. But for the way you guys are making it sound, this looks really good. I just didn't know it.
Okay. Yeah, and then one of those multi-movie packs came out that included Slaughter High, Waxwork, Chud 2.
Yeah, I still have that DVD.
I still have that too. I watch it. I haven't bought all.
That's a good deal. That was like $7.
That's like one of the best. Yeah, that was like one of the best multi-packs I've ever seen of actual movies.
Drives me nuts. Drives me so OCD nuts when they mix them up like that. Like I put the same things on there. You've got part 2 of this and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, Jason.
I mean, I don't really know what to say. I really like this movie. I like the setting. I like the old school setting. It reminds me a lot of other slasher movies. It's a revenge, a nerd, you know. There's not a lot of gore, not a lot of effects, but John's right. They are, what's there is good. I mean, I like it. I think this probably falls just under a recommendation for me. I don't know why. I mean, because I guess we're drawing that line at 8, and 8 is what we consider a recommendation. I would give us a 7. It's just right under there. But that's just if I was to recommend it to some dude I work with. I probably wouldn't pick Slaughter High. There's a bunch of other movies I'm gonna recommend before this one. But it's solid slasher. Give it a 7.
Right on.
And was this the first, Frank, you said this was the first time you saw it, right?
Yeah, I had always seen
is that correct? Okay.
Yeah, the VHS. I remember the cover, and I just never grabbed it. You know, it always seemed like I was like, "What the fuck is this? A skeleton? Is this a movie about a skeleton?" I don't want to.
Oh, you saw the Mohawk one, the skeleton, or what? He's wearing a mortarboard, or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, with the cherry bomb.
Yeah, and I mean, and now when I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, I would have rented that now. You know, like that, I would be like, oh yeah, definitely. But back when I was, a teenager hitting the VHS aisle, it was like, nah, I'm not fucking with that. I'll just get Redneck Zombies again. So
that's a safe bet.
The Loved Ones from 2009, written and directed by Sean Byrne, who also wrote and directed The Devil's Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh,
I like that one too.
Yeah, I have not seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
The Loved Ones.
The Loved Ones.
I wasn't listening.
When Brent turns down his classmate Lola's invitation to the prom, she concocts a wildly violent plan for revenge. At first, I had no idea what time period this was supposed to be. Evidently modern.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, it's modern, right?
Tagline: Prom night can be torture.
The soundtrack was what was confusing me time-wise, period. Because like the music they're playing at prom seems like oldies almost.
I remember you were asking around the time he had his cell phone out.
Yeah, yeah. But how?
There's a few old cars too.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was just the beginning that I was really confused because they start off with like an 80s song. He's wearing a Metallica Ride the Lightning shirt. And everybody looks like a greasy dude from the 80s.
Was it Red Lightning? Or was it Puppets?
I think it was Ride the Lightning. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it was Puppets.
Kill 'Em All poster was on the wall.
He likes Metallica.
He likes Metallica. But not Load and Reload. He didn't. None of those posters.
But this dude gets kidnapped, and then all kinds of fucked up shit happens. Some of it like the knives through the feet. That's too much for me, man. Like I don't need that. It's too much. Too graphic.
You're saying that's too much?
Too much. It wasn't funny. It wasn't in a funny context.
I didn't laugh.
It was just horrifying. It was, but I can't fault it for that. That's its job. It was done well. That song that she plays all the time got stuck in my head for 2 days after we watched it. So,
am I not pretty enough?
Sing it.
Oh my God. I don't know who that is. I don't know what it is, but they play that all the time while there's all kinds of violence happening, which was good.
The music was great. I loved the music of this movie.
Yeah, there was some stuff that was like, seemed like something they would, like on a Return of the Living Dead style shit, like the punk stuff that they were listening to in the car while that side sequence was going on. That's one of the problems I had with it. What was that? Going back to that so much for it. That could have been easily just a couple minutes there, show them get there, whatever. They could have dipped in once or twice, but they were there all the time in that fucking car with those two.
Yeah, I don't really know. It was funny. It was his, I assume his best friend. They had that little interaction there while they were at school. Her dad is the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that,
it was her brother that.
Yep.
The one girl had kidnapped. Was he the one that got away?
He was the guy.
They almost hit in the beginning.
Was it her brother or boyfriend?
And then she says, "You can't find him, or you still can't find him." So
was it her brother or boyfriend?
It was her brother.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know why they included that. I guess just to tie something together from the beginning.
Yeah, that's the only correlation. I don't. So
It was a parallel. Their night went the same.
I don't know.
As much as it wasn't a horror comedy, I did laugh a lot, like about the idea about she just can't fucking be killed.
I think it was a little bit of a horror comedy.
Yeah.
There
was some tinges of
it's
it.
cheeky.
Yeah, there was plenty of funny, like when they're throwing the rocks at him in the tree.
Yeah, what would you do if you were up there? Wouldn't you just try to fight them both?
I think it's Australian.
Yeah, it's a drier humor, but there was a lot of humor in it.
If you were stuck in that tree and they're throwing rocks at you, what do you do? Because I would fucking barrel right at them. I would try to. That's your only time to get away. He ends up back though. It was just, some of the scenes seemed like torture porn kind of stuff. So I was a little bit. They could have cut him in half or whatever. I just think Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's barely any gore in that, but it's terrifying, right? They have this woman in these circumstances, but there's not really that much gore in it.
Yeah, I thought
you like gore, and I'm not understanding.
I
what's
like
going
gore
on.
if you're using it in a comedy horror film like The Babysitter, where the dude gets stabbed in the head.
You don't like serious?
He likes
they're
cartoon.
being serious?
Yeah,
cartoon gore.
I don't necessarily. It wasn't like I didn't like the movie for the stuff. It was just like a little bit. I don't like to go ugh, like the whole fucking thing with the feet and the knives. That was the main thing. Everything else was cool.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be more torture porn than what it was, but it ended up not getting heavy on that.
Yeah, it's just
it tiptoed around.
That was the only thing I had a bit of a problem with, was how much that bothered me, because I couldn't stop thinking about it.
It's violent. It's graphic.
It's the same reason I've never watched Human Centipede or whatever the fuck that is. I would never watch that. Hopefully you guys don't ever pick that, because I don't want to watch that.
I'm going to now.
Never seen it.
It's just.
They have 3 of them now, don't they?
Yeah, there's 3 of them, and I don't want to watch any of them.
It's my next pick.
Yeah, I will just. Take some notes on that one. I don't need to see that to know how it works out. I saw somebody in a horror group though had asked, which position on the Human Centipede would you rather be? It's always the front, right? It's always the front. If you had to pick a position in the Human Centipede, you don't want the middle for sure.
I mean, you're getting someone behind you regardless. So, yeah, I don't want my face in it. And an ass.
It's the only position.
Is it face to ass? Is that how they do it?
It's face to asshole, and then so the person in the front just has.
Because I've never watched that either. I am curious how it's a movie.
How is it 3
how
movies?
did it get made, but the storyline wise, like the concept. I could hear the concept, but I've never heard more about it other than this is what's done in it.
Yeah.
So. I am curious. I may pick it one day.
Damn you, Jared.
I won't for the next one, though.
Yeah, next time we should pick Christmas movies. I know what one I'm going to pick if I can find it. It's going to be Treevenge, man. I'm sorry. Treevenge. Trees. Murdering people.
He posted a trailer. You didn't watch it?
No.
It's Treevenge. I got to see if we can watch it.
I don't pay attention to it.
It could be up your alley for sure.
Yeah, it's
it won't be mine.
Choosing. But hopefully we'll do a holiday episode next time. So.
What'd you give the loved ones?
Oh.
So, all right, bye guys.
I gave it a 7.
Jared.
I gave this a 6.
I gave it an 8. I loved it. It looked good. God, the music, certain shots are just beautiful. Like they nailed it.
The colors were great.
Yeah, has great color, great music, has violence.
The dad was the creepiest.
They're crazy, and it's funny you even brought up Texas 2 to.
Not Texas 2, the original Texas is what I was talking about.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because there's not like a lot of blood in
this
that one.
movie, to me, had a Texas 2 feel to it. Like it's...
Yeah. I could see what you're saying.
It was fun. It was great. I was in this movie the whole time.
Yeah, this one was a hard one for me to rate because it's a well-made movie. And I really can't think of anything to say, to criticize, to be like it needed to be better. It's pretty bland for me. I was pretty bored through the whole movie. Like,
and no one even mentioned the things in the floor.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Are those past
The I guess
boyfriends?
Now that I think back, the knives through the feet was a little bit too much for me, and the drill scene. Oh my God, when she fucks up with that drill, and then old dad has to come in, and the guy's still trying to fight for his life. I was like, "This is
great,
crazy, man."
That's great.
Yeah.
For me, it all just felt flat. It felt bland.
I was like gritting my teeth through that whole scene. I'm like, this is making me feel anxious.
Because
anxious.
I didn't have that.
I guess that's the purpose.
This is a good one.
It didn't, since it didn't go into like anything I thought was extreme, like it made my spine cringe. Yeah. And the gore didn't make me laugh either. It just felt me. Okay. Me.
But that song will stick in your motherfucking head. 3 days at least.
So I went with 6. I think it should be rated higher than that because it's a much more competent made movie than what I rate it. At the same time, 6 is higher than I enjoyed it too. I rated it higher than I enjoyed it. It was my least favorite of the last 2 episodes.
Now, if you're going to pick any movie from this episode to watch, anyone that listens, I recommend The Loved Ones. It's great.
I recommend all these movies because they're all great. I enjoyed every one of them. So seek them out.
Yeah, this is the only one. I was like, me. I wouldn't tell anyone.
Don't listen to Jared. God.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have a strong reasoning. I don't think it was a bad made movie. If you think it looks good, it's probably good. But
hey,
we got to the end. We got to the end of the movie, and what are you wrapping me up for, man?
Wrap it up.
Well, my battery's gonna die.
Wrap it up, Jared.
We got to the end of the movie, and I was just like, hey.
Take us out.
So, don't watch that movie that Jason wants you to
watch this movie.
Yeah, I say give it a go. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Rate and review us on iTunes, please, if you would. Even if you're watching this on video or whatever, go to iTunes and rate us and review us so we can bump up and do the thing that podcasts do. Yeah.
What's that?
Hopefully get popular. I don't know if you noticed, but our last video episode was about half. So half of the people that
was that the bonus footage?
No. That one isn't even close.
So people tuned in, and then half of them were like, "No, not."
They'll be back.
I've seen it.
You'll be back. Yeah, I'll repost it. Whatever. I'll shove it in people's faces forever, for eternity.
Death gases, all spelt in capitals. Lowercase is for pussies.
How'd you guys like this one?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Straight away, the very first thing that I noticed was the visuals of it. It looks great.
Yeah. Jared had told me that before he finished it, he told me that it was what did you say, like a teen romance comedy or something?
Yeah, I watched it in chunks. I watched up to where the teacher starts throwing up blood, and then finished the rest of it like a day or two later. So that first chunk I thought was very like teen comedy. It was heavy on that, I thought, and light on blood. But it more because when you don't get the ending right away. All I had was like 2 days to sit on that bit of it.
They were doing those intercut drawing things like they did on Superbad and shit like that. A lot of dick drawings and a lot of dicks in general.
Well, and the second half of the movie is...
But also there's Power Rangers in this, dude. There's 3 people from Power Rangers in this
The second half of the movie is where all the great stuff is. I don't think the first stuff is... I don't think it did any detriment. It's just if you only watch that. I walked away being like, I don't know about this one. This might not be what I thought it was going to be. And a lot of times, metal movies that focus heavily on metal, it feels a little forced.
Yes, I think
someone.
I just watched another one. I think it was Devil's Candy. It was very, it was metal, and I agree. They all feel forced.
Yes, someone. I don't know if it was the people making it, but someone was into this. Like when he pulls the Autopsy record out.
Yeah.
Like someone was around being like, no.
But why so much Trivium? Trivium was on it. Every fucking thing. It was everywhere.
But yeah, the main characters are like, you look at it, they make them into like black metal, the blackest of black metal kind of dudes.
They did a parody of that, what's that band, that black metal band. Can't even think of it.
But
they did a parody of a black metal video.
But but then, like you said, when you start tossing in like Trivium and you're moving into a generic, like that, it's just never done great. But it didn't. For what the movie is, it doesn't fucking matter.
No, because everything's over the top.
None of this, all these little things. None of it matters for
the main dude. What's his name? Brody. Is that his name? And the lead girl are both from Power Rangers, one of the series, and the chick from the record store that does the psychic readings, she's from Power Rangers also.
It's Power Rangers movie.
But they say you can sync this movie up to Iron Maiden's Live After Death, and it like perfectly aligns like a Pink Floyd.
I may try that
thing. Yeah. Basically, these guys. What happens is this kid, his mom gets put in jail for trying to suck off Santa Claus. Is that what happened?
Yeah, she was high on meth.
And he has to move in with his really religious uncle and dickhead cousin. And of course, they lump him in with a slobby dude and a fucking nerd that plays D&D.
None of that matters. A metal band finds a hymn that raises the devil. Yeah. They play it not knowing what it was. The town turns into demons, and a lot of people get
killed. Awesome shit happens.
In crazy, ridiculous ways.
I love it when he kills his cousin. Just to fucking kill him.
No, because like when he came in, he was all like, his eyes. You seen that, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, the gore was great. I loved every bit of it.
The visuals are great. The director, Jason Lee, I think it's Jason Lee Howden. Again, this is his first full-length movie. But previously, he's known for his visual effects. He worked on the Hobbit movies, the Wolverine, Prometheus. Like visuals is his thing. And from the get-go, like as soon as the movie starts, I love the visuals. I love the cut scenes to where they have like they're standing on the mountain.
That's awesome.
Like a metal cover, like it. Yeah, visually, this movie is great.
It pretty much hits on everything it needs
practical
to be.
Practical effects. Great.
To be good at what it's supposed to be. Like, it's funny as shit.
Yeah.
It's... the little stuff I was telling Frank about the first half is just because I hadn't got to the part that you watched the movie for. And all I had was the parts that you don't care about. And so... that second half of the movie. Honestly, I'm not going to take away from dude's film because I think it's really good. But you can just watch the second half of the movie.
That's true.
It's one of those.
He was just warming up his first.
And you'll miss
half of the movie.
You'll miss some good stuff, a few good scenes in the first part. But it's not quite as. That's my only issue with it is normally those kind of movies are full go from the beginning. They waited till halfway through. Doesn't hurt the movie, but in this kind of movie, I don't want to wait. Just, it's called Deathgasm.
Yeah, I didn't.
Let's just get to it.
Going off the trailer. I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did. Like, I didn't think I was going to be into it that much at all. But
yeah, I figured I would. There hasn't been much of those New Zealand over the top.
Yeah, I love that New Zealand accent. I don't know why, but I just fucking do.
The old Peter Jackson stuff with Dead Alive and Bad Taste. One that I almost picked for this time for my old one, but I decided something else instead. Black Sheep is another one.
I just got that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Maybe I will pick it instead of Body Melt. It's 2006, but that's over a decade old.
Yeah, I just.
We shouldn't have restrictions.
I just ordered from the UK real cheap. It's only like
I got it
like
on DVD
$5.
too, Frank. Yeah, I might pick that one instead. But anyways, like Black Sheep and Undead, I believe that one was another New Zealand one. Like they're and of those, Deathgasm's probably my least favorite.
Undead's the one with the aliens in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
But I still rate it pretty high. I mean, it being my least favorite is that doesn't mean it's very low. Like I love those New Zealand over the top, just crazy, insane, nonstop death and ridiculousness. Yeah. I like that in a movie.
It was a really, really good movie.
Would you rate it, Jason?
Let's see. I gave it a 7. I gave the plot a 5. I didn't. The writing to the movie. I mean, there's.
I gave the plot not relevant.
I mean, it's just the middle of the road. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It is what it is. I like the acting in it. I thought the characters were great. I gave it a 7. There really wasn't a whole lot of atmosphere there, so I think 7's a good score.
I think in the end, the reason this one is it isn't as high as Undead or Black Sheep or Brain Damage is because the overall story isn't as ridiculous as, like, Dead Alive. A rat monkey bites a dude's mom and he keeps the zombies in his basement and they spread. That's ridiculous. The Black Sheep, a dude's humping a sheep.
That's a good story.
Genetic.
That's an 8 in my book. So,
but a dude's
rat monkey
humping a sheep to make a genetically superior sheep, and they turn into were sheep.
Yeah, were sheep.
Like that is an undead aliens taking over and raising.
Oh, and that dude has that awesome shotgun.
I mean, that's the storyline from Plan 9 from Outer Space. I mean, and this one is a couple kids form a metal band, and it's not as over the top.
But he does use the power of a tasty fucking guitar solo to bring his buddy out of the devil.
It's like I said, it's just not as over the top. And in those movies, I like them. It's just way over the top. I gave it.
This wasn't over the top enough for you.
Storyline.
Because I thought this was. I mean, I said that earlier. Everything's over the top. I got it right here. I wrote it down.
He does a spin move with 2 chainsaws, and he has corpse.
It's over the top.
We were talking storyline. The storyline wasn't as over the top as what I like in those.
Right. Okay. And his wife also helped.
I give the movie a 7, but I give the second half of the movie a 9. The second half of the movie is everything that it should be.
Your guys' scales kill me.
I went with an 8.
Wow.
This is right in my wheelhouse, but I thought that the devil at the end, that could have been done a little bit fucking cool, because everything else was so awesome, and that was like.
I feel this was a little Tenacious D. Too.
Yeah, I felt that the cutaways especially, that looked like some shit out of their albums.
The devil at the end looked like a really bad version of Dave Grohl in Tenacious D.
Yeah, and they said that this was based on Evil Dead, sort of. So why would they could have done the beginning different don't involve the school at all. Get the school out of there, and it would be a lot better, because that made it seem like you were watching Look, She's Hot Now, or whatever that fucking movie is.
They took time. They took time to introduce characters to you.
Yeah.
And put them in situations to make you think about who the characters are. It works against this movie a little bit, because I generally, like, even in The Void, I was like, I don't care who they are. But in this movie especially, I don't care who they I don't care who they are. I don't care who they're killing. Just do it.
Yeah, because the beginning, like, half hour, it's like Sandy or whatever the fucking names are.
The part where, what really got me, and it was one of the parts that came close to my end of the first chunk that I watched. Like when you get into pass this guy the note, I didn't pass the note, I showed up instead, I'm going to start making out with my best friends. Like, all of that, you could have had more people getting killed instead of that.
Yeah. It tries to make you care.
Yeah, it tried to actually make a more normal, stronger story.
Yeah, that kid gets bullied, gets pushed down,
It just
they added real life stuff into a not real life movie.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. Let's go to this year, 2020. The Babysitter Killer Queen, directed by McG. I hate McG. I just want to say that. Love these movies, hate McG. I don't know. Look him up. If you look up his IMDb, you get to see a nice picture of him that would go well. I want to make a shirt with just his stupid IMDb photo on it. It says Last Roundup Horror Show. Probably
Poor
some
guy.
Yeah. Fuck you, McG. Written by a fucking lot of people. This is what I think the problem with this movie is. This is written by Dan Lagata, Brad Morris, Jimmy Warden, McG, based on characters by Brian Duffield, who had nothing to do with this. Jason, do you have details?
Well, I didn't find a tagline. And I don't think this has a physical release. I think it's just on.
Yep.
It does it?
Yep. You can buy a Netflix DVD.
Does the first one?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If Netflix thinks they can sell a DVD copy to,
I feel like I've seen it, but I tried to find it real quick and it didn't pop.
Maybe it was a limited release. I've seen pictures.
If you want to buy it, try to find it.
Dare you
and buy it.
There's a lot of stuff I like about this. Ken Marino is great. Every time I see him, I love him. He's hilarious. If you don't know who he is, check out The State. He's fantastic in that.
I want to dip my balls in it!
And anything else he does. Bad Milo.
Come on, Milo. Come on home. Door's open. Okay, come on. Ah, nails. Ah. Ow.
Duncan, breathe.
I'm trying to breathe. God, this is very difficult.
Don't push.
I'm not doing anything.
Let it.
He's up there.
It was beautiful.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. I also really like that they brought Chris Wilde back because he is hilarious also in this, and they have scenes together. And if you put those two dudes on a sitcom, I will watch every episode of it, especially if Ken Marino's married to Leslie Bibb like he is in this movie. Yeah. And like, did you take pot? Great. Did you take pot?
Yeah, you're not going to take pot, right?
Well, I know it's kind of important.
You're not doing it right now, are you?
There's a lot of stuff I left out. Magnum XL condoms was the selection.
$100.
Yeah. And I thought,
what was that all about?
That was
that's a lot of material.
Was the girl in
really
that
drives the price?
Was the girl in that store was she somebody of note or something? Why was she dressed so strange and like, I don't know. I looked her up and I couldn't even find her in the credentials.
She seemed like a deleted scene happened around her or something.
Something.
Yeah.
Well, and I was trying to figure out, was it a callback to the first one? Like, was she somebody from school or something? But I didn't see anything. Like, yeah.
Well, Jason,
just a random like.
You rewatched this, didn't you? You rewatched the first one.
You're asking who the girl is?
That is in the store. That's like
the hot clerk.
Yeah, gives him the Magnum condoms.
$100.
I don't remember.
Ding.
I thought you were asking about the girl that was his
the love
friend
interest.
Down the street. No, the little girl that was
the
friend down the street.
What year is this supposed to be? What year was the first one supposed to be? Because this cell phone technology is whack.
Oh yeah,
like
I think it's a budget thing.
Okay. I really liked the setting on the boat in that I don't even know where they're supposed to be. It looks like a desert, but they're on I don't know. There's like mountain. Is it Arizona? What the fuck?
Like Lake Havasu, I think. Something like that. Lake Havasu, like a party lake.
Yeah,
something
great
like
setting.
Yeah.
You know, I got to say, as much as I hate McG, I really like the way he puts these films together. I think that it's cool the way he uses like the text and like the gore is over the top. I like all his stylistic choices.
I mean, that's kind of the thing. That's the thing that they do is it's so over the top because it's almost a different genre.
Yeah, but I looking at his IMDb, these films are the only things that I think I enjoy. There was some show he did with Bill Bellamy and Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I can't even remember what the hell it was called.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that they could have tightened up the first half hour of this movie a little bit. It's kind of a lot of exposition that you don't need or care about. The fun part about these movies is the when they start killing and then they start chasing and running and the action's happening. And this one that kind of slows down in the middle so they can have that little sex scene, or that's not even a sex scene. It's just a weird, here's my child playroom. Let's dance to this Sugar Hill Gang song.
Yeah, they boned.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. At the end, that's what causes it.
Yeah. Well, they had to. That was required that they had that scene just to make it pay off. But it's been a while since we've had a movie where I could say, John, you weren't on the show when I've been trying to push this term forward, digital bear. I call it, if you see an animal that is just blatantly CGI, like screensaver, we got a digital snake in this thing that could have been just totally thrown away. Somebody spent too much time on that. Because
why was it? It looks bad, even if they wanted to have a snake just for a second.
Yeah,
you have it just for a second, but there's so much screen time of this horrible CG snake that didn't need to be there.
There was already tension in that scene, is the thing. They're under a truck while all the killers are outside of it. And then it seemed like they had to write themselves out of a hole because they're like, well, we got a snake now. What the fuck do we do with it?
And the digital deer that explodes on
I liked
on
that.
a gunshot.
I liked that one.
Yeah, a desert eagle blew up a fawn. Like, come on.
That was a laugh there. This movie is really overwritten, though. I kept trying to figure out what wasn't hitting right with me, and it's because there's too many writers focusing on too many peripheral things. I think
you're right.
And it does. None of the shit they're focusing on matters. It's like if there was somebody in the room, like, I always think of this, and like we're in a politically correct sort of time, and you always hear about inclusion of everybody or whatever, and that always makes me think of like there's some guy like, you got to have an Asian guy in there. What? You don't have a gay guy. Well, you got to have a lesbian. Like they're trying to put everything in there, but not every story has every kind of person in it. And I don't know. It seems like the writing in this was just like, well, we got to make sure to flesh out these relationships. We got to make sure to do this and focus on that, when all they needed to focus on was the party of what the first movie was. But this thing hit me around 8. I liked this stuff. I liked so much that the shitty stuff like the sci-fi CG, the fight game nod, whatever that was, the laborious first half hour. I don't think that the first one needed a sequel, but this is kind of like paying a tribute to what I liked about the first movie, the characters, the humor. I loved that they gave Ken Marino and Chris Wilde so much time when they're smoking pot and playing video games, when they're driving, when Chris Wilde gets killed, that is hilarious. That's like that right up there with Paul Rubens and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like for hilarious kills. Yeah, so I don't know. I hope they don't make a third, because they kind of set it up with that mid end credits clip of the pages in the book turning. So yeah. Anyways, Jason,
what'd you give this?
8.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so I like that they bring back the characters from the first, but it took them. It was well into the second act before they show back up. There's a few good kills. There's a few laughs when he pisses on her face. Oh, I was hissing. That was hilarious. This one's. It's a little. I don't know. It's more over top than the first one. This one's silly, like the video game fighting scene, like that.
Yeah,
that was stupid. I didn't like it all. The bad CG with the digital snake, the digital deer, and Cole. I liked him in the first one because he was that innocent little kid. Now he just annoyed me. He was just like he was a whiny teenager now in this one, and he didn't have that innocent kid character anymore. It's a good movie. It's not great. I really like the first one. If I could find the physical release, I'll probably pick it up. And this ain't bad enough to where I wouldn't get this just to have it with the first one. So it's 6 out of 10.
All right. Yeah, I like all the characters being back. I don't know what it is. Like Bella Thorne, I'm just not a fan of her. I don't know if I'm being just like too hard on her acting and stuff, but like she's just not authentic to me.
Well, see, I think that's one of the reasons why she's cast in this role, is to just be the dumb bitch that nobody likes.
Okay.
She's just that good at playing this dumb bitch that nobody likes. That's why her character is supposed to be the dumb bitch that nobody likes.
Okay. All right. Then that makes sense. And I get that she's supposed to be the hot one that talks all the time and stuff like that. But just like when she gets mad and stuff, just didn't come off as authentic. But, whatever. But one thing I did like, Dr. Big Carl, the school nurse psychologist guy. Oh my God! See that's a herpes couch. That's a herpes couch. He's like, oh, like those Cole and his interaction, their chemistry was really good.
Yes,
and I liked older Cole. He's dealing with the fallout of some shit. He has PTSD like a motherfucker, and the most redeeming part of this whole movie was when Ken Marino shows up and finally sees everything.
It's so hilarious, dude. He's like, oh, it's kind of hard to miss. You mean the whole...
Yeah. I gotta tell your mom you're not nuts. Oh, wait. I mean, you're not nuts, but...
We didn't think you were nuts.
Yeah. Them two, you're right. I would see a sitcom with them two.
Oh, it'd be great.
Wife. Yeah, Chris Wilde, he annoyed the hell out of me, but he was funny. He was super annoying, though. I've seen him in less annoying parts, but he's so annoying.
I love their interaction.
Oh, yeah. Like, the chemistry was off the charts. Like, they were funny as hell. I hated that arcade fight, that fucking Scott Pilgrim bullshit. Fuck that shit. I hated it. I didn't really care about the backstories of the 4 people that came back, because I feel like, why do you feel that's important now?
Why wouldn't you give the backstories of the new people that no one knows who the fuck they are yet? So I don't know.
And it's like, it was whatever on that, but
they could have spent that first half hour showing you those characters instead of all the floopy doopy romance bullshit and like John Hughes whatever was going on.
I love the fact that at the tender moments with Cole and what was her name?
The blonde girl.
No, not the blonde girl. No, not the blonde girl. The dark-haired girl, the one he ends up with. That starts with a D. I can't remember. Phoebe, not with a D. That doesn't start with a D. It's Phoebe.
Phoebe with a D.
Yeah, Phoebe with a D. But that little synth part that plays while they're together was directly lifted out of Risky Business. No. I love that movie, and I have that part that I like. I always like that little part. I need to talk about how awesome Melanie was. That chick can act. She was also in Dr. Sleep, which was probably my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Last year. She was Snakebite Andy. The short blonde-haired girl. I don't know if you guys saw it. She was the short blonde-haired girl. And
that's where she looked familiar.
Yeah. Right? Her face with that short hair, she totally, at first sight, I thought she was Helena Bonham Carter. But I was like, she's obviously way too young to be her.
Right.
But yeah, she was awesome in it. Her over-the-topness was funny. I liked her little cohorts. They were funny for the time being, even though they were like total rip-offs of the two of the main characters. But I liked the chubby Hispanic girl. She was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was bummed she died right away.
Yeah.
She was funny as hell. Super deadpan.
Mm-hmm. I love that bro guy. What's the guy with the shirtless guy? He's the funniest guy. I'm not even mad, man.
You found my dick. I'm not even mad.
I love Stephen Amell in this. I mean, even as a series.
Oh, that's his name. Okay.
I love him, and it's Andrew Bachelor plays the black guy. I love the bits between those two, and like one of the things in the first one that like I just find to be so fucking funny is the reveal when he's in the chair, and he instantly looks at Max's character. He's like, "Why aren't you wearing a shirt?" And instantly, the dude's response of, "Wait, why is that your first question?" Like the way that he just is like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Cracks me throughout the entire movie is those two of him being like you said, the dumb jock, and then him just being like, "Wait, what the hell?" Like,
yeah, I just like how extreme he is. In the first one, he's the one that starts killing spree, like because he has that thing from the fireplace poker or something, and he just throws it and like yells, and it goes right through that cop's head. I think just crazy. But John, continue. Where were you at?
Oh, I was just I dug it. It was a fun sequel. Samara Weaving, bummed that she wasn't in it as much because I really like her. She's a good actress. I like how she sort of turned it around, and it was kind of a whole big plan.
Mm-hmm.
That was like cheesy but cool. It was like cheesy teen comedy thing. Like, oh,
I wasn't a fan of that.
That's just another example.
I know it's lame.
One writer over here throws out an idea.
It reminded me of what was that movie that we watched that had the big giant angel at the end of it? The Dark.
Woman 3?
No, it was.
What was it?
Dark Song.
Yeah, Dark Song.
A Dark Song. It has this huge redemptive ending where there's this big angel, and it was so grand. This seemed like a smaller scale, grandiose kind of redemptive thing. But I did enjoy the Ken when Ken came in, and he was that made it better for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what was your score?
I'm giving it a 7.
Right on. Jake?
I love this movie. I love both of them. Like, it's just one of those. There's something about the dark comedy / horror genre that I enjoy. I'm very much a fan of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil and that genre. I'm just very entertained by it. And I thought I'd say my only complaint would be the ending of it just felt so rushed when they brought her back and then trying to do the whole reveal of everything that it happens within like 2 minutes. And it's
I bet they had her for like a day though.
Yeah.
Because she was doing Bill and Ted and
then that's where I think you could have cut out probably about 20 minutes of the before crap that you could.
Yeah, it would have made it a reasonably length film. It was 1 hour and 45 minutes, and as you guys know, I'm an hour and a half kind of man. And when I see they could have just carved some shit off of there, I'm like, "What are you doing?
Exactly.
I'm gonna die someday," you know. I'm only this much time. Always. You want me to watch this? Okay, well, whatever. We'll do it.
Oh my God, you're manipulating my emotions.
Jake, back to you. What's your score?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy this. Honestly, you know, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I enjoy it. I mean, it's one of those ones that I sat down. I loved the first one, so when I saw that they were making a sequel, the moment that I saw it like on my Netflix, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sit down, and I watch it, you know, beginning to end. You know, a lot of times when I'm watching movies, I'll get up, go, you know, grab something. I sat there the entire time, just enjoyed it.